challenges with being able to promote the right kind of culture in those environments. But the other interesting thing about the pandemic is you had this explosion with the crypto, Web 3.0 world. And I really think there's already companies working on this where, you can have these virtual environments in the metaverse and create a really immersive way for kids to learn in maybe a more natural way than kind of sitting on a Zoom, which is very two-dimensional. So there's companies working on some of those opportunities. I think it's really exciting. I think if you're at all familiar with the crypto world, there's a popular sort of concept that's going on now. They call it play to earn. So these kids playing these crypto games and they're getting tokens for playing the games. And I think you can sort of change that paradigm to get paid to learn, right? If we can gamify these things, get these kids interested in coding sooner, early on, I think it opens a whole bunch of opportunities for them down the road.
So I'm so excited to be back here in Puerto Rico. Last time I was here, it was 2004, opening a site for Honeywell. And now I'm back here with Cordell. Thank you so much for bringing me here. So talking about COVID, in my view, I see COVID as a blessing and also as it's been painful for so many of us. But at the same time, if we want to be futuristic, we need to think about the blessings that COVID brought to us. We have to take a look at the current environment as COVID create a job economy, moving from a job economy to a skills economy. What does that mean? Is when you look at the institution, universities, corporations, from a university perspective, the whole environment where they used to control the learning, right? The standard, going to school, get your license, get your master, get your PhD, and then get out and then look for a job. But right now, if you look back, the kids today, they don't want that. They want to challenge the status quo. They want something different. And at the same time, when you look at companies now, they used to be in control, managing all of those resources. Now the resources are saying, hey, stay away, I'm in control. You spend like 2 hours, sometimes an average of 5 hours every day, commuting from home to work. Does that make sense? Those are the things that the company have to be asking right now, challenging their internal culture as far as how it's going to be moving forward. So now you have the kids. The kids now can go to YouTube, which is the democratization of learning. You can learn anything on YouTube. You can go anywhere on the platform to learn anything that you want to learn, right? And then ability for you to be resourceful for whoever wants to consume some of the service that you're selling. For example, Python, it's the biggest, largest programming language that you can learn today. And they pay you a lot of money. For example, PMI, project management. It's also something that anyone wants to consume because everyone wants to deliver a service outside, everyone wants to deliver a product outside. But in order for you to get that out of the door, you want someone that understands project management. If you do not understand project management, it's going to be tough for you to get something out the door properly so that the consumer can consume that. The other thing is from a university perspective, we talked about that a little bit since you were talking about learning. From a university perspective, now you find a lot of universities focus on the certifications. And this is where they're making a lot of money. And those certifications, we're talking about 3 months, 2 months learning, or sometimes we're talking about a week. So the opportunities are there. And those skills I'm not saying completely disregard the standard learning, but at the same time they are there, you should really assess them and then see what's there for you.
I think one of the biggest opportunities is a lot of parents have witnessed what the online learning looked like. I had a junior in high school, and for a day she was working on word puzzles. And this has been an alarming thing where a lot of parents were like, wait a second, that's what you spend your time doing? And the students were like, yes. No, I'm not saying that across the board, but there's a lot of things in education of, well, we've always done it this way. And I think this has been the first time where the new economy is having parents go, wait a second, what is this for? And so, one of my favorite things to ask schools, and I taught for 22 years, so I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but my favorite question is, what is the school here for? And the most cliche and correct answer is, to prepare kids for the future. I'm like, awesome, great. What are you doing here that's futuristic? Well, we memorize, we make sure the SAT, and none of this is relevant. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes getting into a great college is a great thing for some programs because of their math and science and technology, but a lot of it for the alumni, right? So I personally started, I remember seeing a TED Talk years ago by Daniel Pink, and they were talking about what they did at Google. They gave their employees 1 day a week where they could work on whatever they wanted to work on. And they just wanted to know what you took away from it. So I'm like, what would happen if you create a class just like that? So we called it Innovation and Open Source Learning. For the first 6 weeks of school, I taught you how to think for yourself, how to project manage, how to set your own goals and skills and things of this nature. So you told me what you wanted to do and how to accomplish it, and we broke it down into 2-week increments. But the best part was, Mr. Wettrick didn't know jack on what a lot of these students wanted to work on. Like some of them was, I want to learn how to code a new language, or I want to learn how to, fill your own skill in. But that's when the open source learning part began. And if we gave our students an hour and a half a day or every other day to learn from people, whether it's on YouTube, or my favorite thing is our students started having what we refer to as the arrogance of belief. My students started reaching out to people that were A-list. And at times it just got weird because like, hey, Mr. Wettrick, we have Tim Ferriss on the line. He wants to spend an hour with us. Are you out of your mind? Okay, yes, let's do that. Because we gave the students a mission, right? And a purpose for wanting to be there. And number 2 or B, the willingness to reach out and build your network. So I can't stand it when people are like, well, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Okay, know more people. That's it. And you're like, well, no one's going to answer me. Yes, you are. If you were 16 and you're on a mission and you want to accomplish something and it's bigger than yourself, people will respond. And a lot of times it's really successful people because they look at that kid and they go, I was you when I was 17. And then they open up. So in a lot of ways, them not being at school gave them more time to be open sourced. And that is why, shamefully, I'll just plug in, our state decided to do more with this, and so I run Innovate Within. We have an innovation entrepreneurship contest that is free programming, free curriculum, and we want to see what's going out of it. Shameless self-promotion. 3 weeks ago, one of our students got a venture-backed deal, and they're 17. Because we gave them resources, we gave them a mindset, and we gave them mentors, and they ran with it. So I think that if we have more time to do things in the digital world and not bog ourselves down with memorizing the Pythagorean theorem, more students are going to get more things done.
Give these folks a hand. This is some deep stuff. So